I'm James. This is Brock. And you're
Oh.
watching the Rebel Scum podcast, episode 83. Hi, Brock.
Hi, James.
I feel like I haven't seen you in 2 weeks.
You haven't.
Oh,
Wait.
last,
Yes, you did.
Because last week we had a show. By the way, shout out to everybody that informed me that 10 kilometers is 6 point whatever miles. Thank you so much.
What?
Because 2 weeks ago, I said I was running a 10K.
Oh, and you couldn't remember what it was. Yeah.
Anyway, and it's 6 miles. We got a lot of comments on that. So thank you so much for that.
Imperial.
Everyone's like, rah. But in my training, I went to Cuba and drank.
Correct. Congrats.
We roll. But while I was gone, things happened in Star Wars land.
Since you've been gone.
Yeah. I want that Han Solo visual dictionary.
Yeah.
That comes out on May 25th. That was my sister's birthday. If you want to give her a present, get her that book. That's what I'm going to get her.
Isn't that the day of the movie as well?
Yes. But I'm guessing we'll get to see it on the 24th.
Oh, right. Good
No
point.
new trailers dropped for it. But toys were announced for it,
Yes.
which is pretty cool.
Yes.
By the way, guys, if you like Star Wars, if you love Star Wars, give us a like and a subscribe to this channel. That's all we do here. We talk Star Wars nonstop, right?
Sometimes we talk about love. Yeah, Star Wars and Star Wars affiliated products.
What?
I don't know. Like King of the Hill. Boom.
Like,
Propane and propane accessories.
well, anyway, Andrew Fantasia let me know that new Black series are coming out.
Yeah.
There's a Solo, a Star Wars storyline in them. But the one that caught my eye, we got to talk, this is supposed to be later on, but I want to talk about it right away. Gamorrean Guard. Gamorrean Guard. Two things popped into my head. One, I need it.
Yeah.
Two,
You need two because they're always in pairs.
well, that's the thing. But the third thing then, what came to my mind is, I'm sorry, I saw your Lobo pop and it just threw me off guard for a second. Oh my God. The other thing is, does this confirm the appearance of Sir Jabba the Hutt in Solo, a Star Wars story?
When did those drop? It was the Toy Fair in Niagara Falls, New York, right? Because I sent that to Andrew.
Long ago?
Well, it happened like either a week before you went on vacation or the week you were gone. Because I don't like talking to Andrew.
No one does.
But they dropped there was a lot of toys dropping, and there was a lot of Star Wars Black Series, and I sent him a link to it, and mostly because there's a Zuckuss coming out.
Yes.
Is that in that was that with the Gamorrean Guard?
think
I can't
it
even
was.
remember. I remember seeing it, but
To be completely honest with you, the only reason I know is Andrew Fantasia, who I also don't like to talk. He sent me a list. Shiz, there are new Turtles. Okay, that's different. They announced new Black Series while you were away. Young Han, Young Lando, Kira, Beckett, Solo version, Snowtrooper, Tarkin. 3 exclamation points on Tarkin from Andrew. Gamorrean Guard, Holdo, Zuckuss, and Forlom.
Yeah, that was the New York Toy Fair, I believe. Because the UK, or was it UK? One or the other. I thought UK happened like a month ago. Anyways, so yeah, there's the Black Series. It's just such beautiful. Like, I have a Boba Fett back there, and I find it exquisite. I mean, the what was the one from Disney? The
Elite?
die-cast ones?
Yeah.
Those ones, like, that Boba Fett's really good, nice, too, but, like, just great figures. You're like, oh, these are $30 or $25 or whatever, but they are real nice, so kudos to whoever makes the decision to make those ones. Really nice. Yeah, it's exciting. Gamorrean Guard. I don't know, though. I feel like it's just a bait and switch. I want to see Jabba in it, but like there was a lot of stuff that got released at the exact same time. You know what I mean?
That when I first read it, the reason I jumped to that is because he wrote the Solo line, or maybe he didn't. Maybe I just But Gamorrean Guard, I don't know. I think if Jabba the Hutt is in Han Solo, you'd have to think a Gamorrean Guard or 2 would be in Han Solo.
It would be nice. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what to. I feel. Yeah. I know what you're saying. I just don't. I almost don't want to like create the idea that might happen. Anyways.
He's 100% confirmed to be in it.
Oh my goodness.
Hashtag third best Star Wars film. I'm sticking to
No, but I don't know. But like, you know what? Here's what I think. even though I know the lore of Gamorrean Guard is they basically wear the same clothes for their entire lifespan. But in my head, if you put a Gamorrean Guard in the movie, they'll change how they look. Therefore, if the figure looks like the Return of the Jedi Gamorrean Guard, then that is just whatever. But again, I from what I've read of the Gamorreans, they wear the same clothes.
I kind of feel though if Jabba was in this, something would have leaked because they're not going to go CG Jabba.
Yeah,
they're going to go puppet. The original took 9 people to operate.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, nowadays they could probably do it with 3, but I think you would still something would still be leaked. I think that Lobo is throwing me completely.
It's the blood spattered one too.
Oh my gosh. That is crazy. Okay, quickly, let's tell you guys about our Patreon. So there are 4 tiers on our Patreon.
4
page.
tiers.
I'm going to read them right now. And thank you everybody who has subscribed to Patreon. I haven't been able to reply to everybody yet because I was away for a week, and there was actually internet in Cuba. I was shocked because I've never seen internet there, and it was quick, but I didn't want to pay a peso for it.
Oh, you still had to pay for it?
It was a peso an hour.
Wait, well,
you're on vacation. Get off your phone.
Yeah.
$1 early access, and you get our new Clone Wars show, Cloning Around, which
when we soon. Make it.
Yeah, for $2 you get all of that stuff plus the Star Wars documentary show. I've got to do that. I got to get Andrew to take pictures of it because I'm not going to go to his place. He's got this database of Star Wars stuff. He's crazy. Let's just put it that way. $3 you get all that plus send your top 5s, your emails, your questions, your theories, your topics, whatever you want, and we will talk about them on this show and on Scavenger Scum, and we'll obviously mention you for that. And for $10, you get to be Rebel Scum yourself. You get every single thing that I just said. And on top of that, you get to be a contestant on Duel of the Fates or Voter No Confidence or Flying Casual. So you get all of that stuff for the $10 tier reward. And guess what comes out in 85 days?
It's my birthday. No.
What just happened? In 85 days, we get Solo, a Star Wars story.
Oh, wow. It's that close.
Yeah, 85 days.
When do tickets go on sale? Have they announced that? I feel like yes.
My guess is we'll get it a month early. A month out. Not 2 months. Because I don't think, look, Black Panther did really well.
Yeah.
Last Jedi, you do it 3 months early, or 2 months. Because you can.
Yeah.
Solo's not going to crush. And you don't want to be embarrassed by 2 months out, and then you're like, oh, it's 2 months and 14 people bought tickets.
Yeah.
Because I think Rogue One was closer, and it was super easy to buy tickets for Rogue One.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be more similar to that.
Cool. Yeah, that makes sense. And it really doesn't matter if you buy your tickets now or in 2 months. That's like, yeah, I don't know. But it is cool when they do that because then they have an idea of how much money they made so far. So, yeah.
Yeah, I just don't think that it's good. I think a month out is enough for them. Mm-hmm. And plus, you got Infinity War right before it. You've got Deadpool right before it. There's so much going on. There we go. There's so much going on that I just don't think it matters.
No.
To them so much. Hi.
It's gonna make money.
Oh, it's gonna make money, but
how much is the question?
It's gonna make. How much do you think it has to make for Disney Lucasfilm to feel like it is not a failure?
$1 billion.
Really?
I think so.
Wow.
Because what did Force Awakens make? In the first 2 weeks, 2 million.
2 weeks. I don't know.
In comparison to opening week or whatever. Last Jedi made $1 billion in 3 weeks, right? Rogue One was a little bit more than that because it beat Rogue One, right? I think it's that. Just because, not so much yes, obviously they want to make their money back, but I think once the precedent of $1 billion is kind of set within the first month, that's what it is.
I'm thinking 700 million.
Sure.
Because it's the summertime. There's so much going on. Donald Glover just came out and said, this is a good, summer fun movie. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's one that they anticipate to make a boatload of money.
Yeah.
I think 700 to 800 is where they need to be. I know it costs them like $400 or $500, $4 million.
$20.
Excuse me. But I don't know. I just feel like realistically, I don't think it has a chance at $1 billion.
Not in the first couple of weeks.
I think
by the end
overall, no. I think 700-800 million. It's going to cap
which
out
is
at.
still
Yeah, that's the thing.
A lot of money.
But I think a lot of people will see that as a failure. But I think that's where they're going to be satisfied with it living in.
Right.
Because in the summertime, with, like I said, Avengers, Deadpool, what else is coming out? They're all Disney movies too.
Yeah.
All the movies that are coming out this summer, there's too much competition for it. Plus, it's Solo. It's not Episode 9.
No.
And I think they'll be happy around there. Now, if it's a really good movie, it should make $1 billion because I think people will go see it. And I know there's the whole boycott Solo fad going on right now because people were not happy with The Last Jedi, so they're going to boycott Solo. But I think if Solo ended up being a good movie, if you were one of those people that were boycotting it, I think you would end up being tempted to go see it. Like if enough people were like, "Hey, this is the hashtag third best Star Wars film," you'd be like, "Well, no, I gotta go." And you won't see it right away. You'll wait 2-3 weeks. But I just don't see it hitting I would love it to hit $1 billion because I have a lot of faith in the movie. Obviously, that's where I am on it. 85 days.
85 days.
Unbelievable. And we haven't even had a trailer yet.
What?
Yes, we have. We've had two in 2 days. I haven't watched it in a while though. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh yeah.
And in 1 week today, the Last Jedi novelization hits.
Oh my goodness! What happened?
Well, they're dubbing this the extended cut. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, this is dubbed the extended cut. There is a. So,
the novel. Yes, I did know that. I thought we were on Blu-ray.
No, the Blu-ray is going to have 14. We're going to talk about it later. It's 14. But the novelization, you're going to get Han's funeral, and you're going to get things that probably should have been in the movie, like Snoke. The Luke thing, not so much, and more Reylo.
Yeah.
Let's start with Snoke. Oh my God! Like, if this is a thing, just make it a thing.
Yeah, it does seem bizarre. Like I remember reading the Return of the Jedi novelization. I don't know if it was the original one or because I remember I had the cover with half of Yoda's face that came out when they re-released the movies, and I remember reading there's a scene after they escape Jabba's palace where they're all standing in the desert talking, and then Han and Leia go back to the rebellion, and Luke, or no, they all go together. It's the first time they get to talk after like the whole thing. I was like, oh, this is really cool. But it doesn't really affect the movie. So it's like the book should have stuff like that. But now you're telling me there's more stuff that it almost goes against what we constantly say. It's like if it's not in the movie, it's not really the main story.
They obviously didn't feel like this was important enough to put in a movie. But it doesn't answer a lot of Snoke questions, but it kind of helps Snoke. Like, it's so strange to me. Do you know the Snoke stuff?
I know there's more to him. I can't remember. I get to a point where I just stop reading things, which is funny because we have a Star Wars podcast. But explain.
So if you don't know and you don't want to know, you're waiting for a novel, just pause. Wait till it says Rebels on the bottom of the screen.
Rebels.
Yeah, then we'll move on. So I pre-ordered the ebook. I should be getting it like midnight in a week.
Cool.
And I'm looking forward to reading it. But the Snoke stuff. So apparently he's been around forever. Sidious knew about Snoke.
Okay.
That's the first thing. Sidious knew that Snoke existed. Right. Snoke was never meant to be the leader of the First Order.
Oh, yes. Now I remember. Yeah, but keep going.
And he learned a lot about the Force in the unknown regions, like dark, mysterious things out there. So all that stuff. He met Luke once, and he respected Luke for Luke's willingness to learn the lore of the Jedi.
Right.
And he likes Kylo. We know he likes Kylo Ren, and he thinks Kylo Ren could live up to his full potential if he just accepts the dark side, which kind of makes sense. But at the same time, this is what's frustrating is in the first novelization or in the Wikipedia, whatever it was he was obsessed. First of all, he's been around Ben Solo since he was like in Leia's womb. It's frustrating. And then I go online and somebody asks, Pablo Hidalgo, God bless him. Everybody goes to Pablo Hidalgo. And he's got to say, well, if it doesn't happen in a movie, but it happens in a book, listen to the movie. But now we're getting something that's all happening in a book.
Yeah.
So why does this matter is what I want to know. Like, is this really the backstory of Snoke? Or is episode 9 going to come and J.J. Abrams is going to be like, you know what? Snoke is Plagueis. Do you know, like, just, like, it's not going to be Plagueis. But you know what I mean? Like, what is stopping anyone from the future from doing anything? And then they could just say, well, no. It was just in the book. That's not really what happened. Take that as, like, a legend.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what's frustrating right now, is I'm hearing this stuff. And I'm fine. Like, I like what I'm reading about Snoke. I find it interesting.
Yeah.
But can I take it seriously? Does it matter? Do I care?
Yeah, I don't know what to say. Because it's sort of like, I was just thinking, like, Jabba the Hutt is a villain. He's not the main villain, but he's a villain in Last Jedi. He's a hurdle that they have to overcome at the beginning. Or maybe not even that so far. He's sort of the villain in the background throughout the original trilogy.
Yeah.
But you're introduced to him in Return of the Jedi. He's a gangster. He's a slug for some reason. And, yeah, he wants Han. You accept that. So, but you could almost say that we spend as much time with Snoke, I know that's arguable, that we do with Jabba. Where it's sort of like, even though Snoke is in Force Awakens, he's really only in Last Jedi. For what we know so far. And it's like, I'm a villain, and I want you to do this, and, like, here's my plan, and now you vanquish me, and then that's that. So, like, I guess my question is, like, is that acceptable? Or when you compare it to Jabba, it was like, he's just a hurdle they have to overcome. He's not the main villain. And he's got this plan that he just wants to be in charge. And then because he's so full of himself, he gets, taken out by a woman, coincidentally. Oh, wait, sorry. Oh, my goodness, sorry. Taken out by Kylo. He had long hair. I got confused.
I thought of this, though, and this is infuriating also, but I thought of this because the flaw of Snoke's death, from a lot of people's points of view, including, I think, Rob, is that he's supposed to be so powerful in the Force, which I think they overdid his power in the Force. I think because we don't know who he is for 40 years, and now you just kind of, whatever. So you kind of, and then you kill him like that.
Yeah.
But what this kind of tells me is, we know that he's watched Kylo since he was in the womb, potentially, maybe not anymore. But then also he now really admired Kylo because of his because he thinks he could fulfill something great if he gives him to the dark side. And Snoke, also what's mentioned is that Snoke was never always dark.
Right.
And so he was probably just living somewhere full of the Force, which I still don't really understand. But he was doing that fine. But now he sees Kylo. Kylo needs to live his potential, but he has to go completely to the dark side. Step 1, kill his father. Step 2, kill his master. Yeah. It's almost like, and I'm totally down with accepting this, that Snoke wants Kylo to strike him down. And now you can argue, but he's surprised in that moment. Yeah, he's surprised in that moment. Maybe he wasn't expecting it right then. Yeah. Maybe he was half shocked, like, oh, he actually went through with
maybe it hurt.
And yeah, maybe you realize, oh, I'm dead.
Yeah.
But I think, I think it adds another layer to Snoke if he did that for the greater good of whatever Kylo is destined for.
I like the idea that, like, Kylo can't really find his best level of enlightenment without going to the dark side. It feels different from what we had in the original trilogies, where it's like, well, the dark side, you're not stopped by your conscience. You just go and do what you want and use as much power you want. But it seems like it's like, well, you would be better if you took on the dark side, because I guess it's the same thing. But I like that concept where he's like, he wasn't that good, or sorry, Snoke was good at one point and then realized he could be more if he was on the dark side. It's almost a sense of like, what we've always saw the dark side is like it corrupts you. And that's kind of like, I know the Emperor kind of gets scarred by Force lightning, but like when you see the Emperor, it's like he is the strongest Sith Lord, and he looks like a prune. And then you look at Snoke, he also looks like, I don't know, a melted candle. And in the video games, it's usually, or just the concept is like, if you turn to the dark side, it will corrupt you to a point where your physical appearance changes. Anakin gets red eyes, sort of thing. That's kind of cool, but like, they're kind of, I don't know. when I hear that, I kind of hear like, oh, it's not a matter of corruption. It's like you attain a new level if you decide to follow this way. I don't, and that's interesting because I think there's some kind of plan about that. I don't know what it is, or maybe I'm totally wrong, but you know what I mean? Like it seems like they're like we're moving towards a new type of thing.
Yeah.
Or, so
hopefully we all know what it is.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't like it. Especially now, I know we're going to talk about Rebels, but especially now with Rebels dropping the whole time travel thing, I'm like...
But, okay, let's go into Rebels then.
Yeah.
You satisfied with that?
Yeah, I mean, with the rest of the stuff, I'm interested in reading it. Like, it has piqued my interest to read it. I don't really care about Reylo, but I will read it, and hopefully it will make me want to care about Reylo. But anyways... But yeah, Rebels. Wow, what a return. Andrew has he done? Or yeah, he's done a review for all 4 episodes.
Yeah, I was with him on this one.
Right.
Yeah, and he did it last week. Mm-hmm. Wow, yeah, the 4 episodes. Kanan finally. Spoilers if you haven't watched it. Kanan, we just got it in Canada, so it's brand new. Kanan finally kicks the bucket.
Yep.
After so long. But I think what's important about him kicking the bucket is that time travel that you're talking about, which happens in the 2nd episode, so the 4th episode after the return, is the time travel. Ahsoka says a very important thing. If you save Kanan, everyone dies.
Yeah.
And that's what's important. And that is something that I think is important for storytellers in Star Wars to remember going forward, that you can't use this. This is just a thing that's there.
Yeah.
And now it's also beneath the earth now, or the Lothal.
Yeah. So it does, you are right. You are correct.
I think that is the important element is it served a function. There's a function, and maybe it'll be used down the road, but I think it should only be used by Filoni because it's his kind of thing.
Yep.
But it could be used down the road, but it needs to be treated with respect, because you can't just be like, well, we need to go save Han. Open up the portal, grab him.
Yeah, because I'm already seeing like non-Star Wars sites, like movie sites, are always like, well, with Rebels doing this, does this mean we can do? I'm like, God, please no. I'm not against time travel. It's just getting a little overused.
I am wholeheartedly against it. I am. I don't.
If you're gonna do time travel, it better be like that's your main story. Not like just in general of like any media. Like Wrinkle of Time is all about time travel, and that's coming out. That's understandable because one, it's been around for a long time, and that's the main point of the story. But like,
look,
go ahead.
Time travel works in Back to the Future.
Yeah.
And Star Trek First Contact, and
Days of Future Past, I guess, because that's the whole.
And then the Time Machine.
But again, like it's got to be the point.
It doesn't work, and I'm gonna say I like the new Star Trek movies. My favorite one is the 3rd one, because I freaking hate time travel. And when you bring Spock back, Spock cannot talk to young Spock. Yeah, the problem with time travel is it has to be rules for time travel.
Yep.
And when there are no rules, that's when it becomes bogus. So if you do time travel, which I don't like, but you have a set of, like Back to the Future, it's stupid if you don't do something, then you erase from a picture. But it creates a set of rules. And so you're like, okay, well, that's the rule. So as long as they abide by that, I could deal with everything that happens in that time travel movie, because they set it up. But when they like in Star Trek, they don't set anything up. They're just like, oh yeah, I just kind of randomly came here.
It's strictly a reason to like bind storylines together now. Yeah. Like I don't hate it, but it's been overly done. And like I didn't mind in Star Trek because it was sort of like, well, how does this Star Trek link with the old Star Trek?
But why did it have to?
It didn't have to. That's the thing. You make a very valid point.
Spock doesn't need to meet Spock.
No. And then unfortunately, Leonard Nimoy passes away, and then we're like, oh, we had the dog. I was like, if you didn't include him, then you wouldn't have to worry about it. Again, minor detail, and no disrespect to the Star Trek fans, but Star Trek sucks. I love Star Trek. But yeah, like I just get I mean, this is just TV and movies being TV and movies, where it's like, well, this works here, so let's do it a million times again. Like, it's getting a little saturated. But anyways, beside that point, I loved it. Like, I thought it was very, very cool. It was great to see Ahsoka again. I would say in what we just said about time travel, I would love to just go on like a mini series of Ezra popping in and out of,
Yeah,
and that's it. And like he's like, okay, here's the rules. You can go wherever you want, and this, but you can never be discovered, sort of thing.
Quantum leap of Star Wars.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Like the idea's already been done. Like, should we do it? I don't know.
I say this thing is dead and buried. It was fun while it lasted. It got Ahsoka. It answered the Ahsoka question. It stopped Ahsoka from having to be killed by Vader. It brings Ahsoka back. My question is, what now with Ahsoka? Dave Filoni in an interview said that Ahsoka's storyline in Rebels is pretty much done. Because anything she does on this show has to affect the Rebels crew.
Right.
Because if she does it separate, then it's a separate show.
Yeah.
So what is Ahsoka? What is the plan for Ahsoka? Is there is that a new animated show coming up? Is that going to be Ahsoka Central? Like, what is the plan for Ahsoka? I said this on the show yesterday, and some people commented, but I just don't want. I don't want her to just be around when A New Hope is happening and not giving an F-ball. You know, like I just don't want that because and people are comparing it to Luke in Last Jedi, and I have nothing to say to that point. Yeah. But I just don't. And I think, you know what, I'll say this. Luke is a different situation. He's kind of shut himself off from the Force, whereas Ahsoka is just not a Jedi. She's still good. Like, she's not a Sith. She's not evil. And if things are happening, like I said yesterday, she was Fulcrum. She basically kind of started the rebellion in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Like, she's not just going to let the events of Endor happen.
But like, it kind of fits in what we were just saying prior, where it's like, there's this new fascination with redefining the Force and redefining why they fight. So Ahsoka is alive and well, which she technically is in this like, I forget what they call it, but like she's in between time.
The world between worlds.
World between worlds, and. I mean, I don't know where it's going. Maybe she becomes part of the Mortis thing. Or she becomes like an oracle that you have to go find. She becomes like a Bendu. So she becomes that because of her position where she was forced out of the Jedi Council, Jedi Order, but she still she could still wield the Force. She's like, well, this is, I was forced to leave and I abided by it and I still want good things to happen. So maybe she's just one of those people in this new thing where it's like the Force doesn't take sides, it just is. So it's like really you're here to guide other people to hopefully get to that point, and you can make her that. Like, you don't make her into the, like, she understands that she is in charge of something. Like, you come to her, like you go to the Bindu or whatever like that, but she doesn't take part in anything. So maybe some down on Luke meets her somehow in between Jedi and Force Awakens when he's looking for the lore.
No, I'm fine with that. I just think, but Ahsoka as a character, as a person, like, which I just don't see her just forgetting what she started, like being like, well, you know what, that thing's good. I'm just gonna go hang out on Malachor right now and try to get a tan.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. I there's something more to Ahsoka coming. I would be cool if she became like Bendu type.
Yeah.
You know, I don't see her transcending into movies at all. I know that's not a popular thought, but I don't know. I think she's Filoni's. He's going to keep her where he wants her. I mean, unless it's a live action show. Excuse me. Look, this cemented one thing in my mind. Filoni knows Star Wars better than anybody.
Yeah. He's moving to live action after this?
No one knows anything.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I like that. Like, keep us guessing.
Yeah, well, I'm fine with whatever we get. All right, let's move on to...
Never tell me the odds.
Today's odds are brought to us by Denim Nerds. He will give us a check for 40 grand.
Denim Nerds. We're talking all about your blue jeans and denim jackets.
And a den of turds.
And congratulations to Denim Nerds on starting his new show at the new location there. Nerdy News Hour is what it's called now, right?
At, what's the comic book?
It's called Uncanny.
Uncanny.
King of Prussia Mall in Philly? What? Yeah, no, I do keep track of things. Yeah, good. Awesome, dude.
Great intro. If you haven't seen it, check it out. But also, don't subscribe to that channel.
Yeah, don't subscribe. He's just copying what we did.
Yeah,
we got a better set, and he also got a better set a month later.
And his toys are free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how he's doing an episode a day, but
we're not even on the screen right now. An episode a day? Well, it's just nerdy news. Like, he's just like, oh, this is nerdy, and let's talk about it today.
Oh, no, I understand he can create content, but, like, I was like, wow, you have time to go to the mall. I don't know how far away he lives from. I was like,
he lives in the mall.
He lives in the mall. He's... it's a today's special scenario for Canadian fans.
Yeah, the Americans don't know what.
What?
The British
He's a mannequin. He's mannequin. He's mannequin. He comes to life.
Yeah.
Anyway, so kudos on that. And now, what is the first odd, James?
Our odds today. First odds of Hondo dying in the Rebels season finale.
I totally want to say Hondo %, but we haven't really seen him in a couple episodes.
But he's in the finale.
He is. I know.
If you watch
he's
the
in
trailer,
that thing. Yeah.
What does he say? He says something about Ezra. He goes, "There is nothing I wouldn't do for that boy."
Yeah.
That's my Hondo impression. Show us your Hondo impression. It's just do Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, he will be. Like, no, I wasn't gonna say he isn't gonna be in the episode, but like,
he's dying in the episode. 100%.
No, I feel like he should always be present in the cartoon.
100%. He's dying. I'm gonna go with it because
he's like Stan Lee.
He's going to put himself out there for Ezra. And it's gonna be important because whatever he does is the reason Ezra can wind up doing what Ezra's whole goal has been from the start of the show. Mm-hmm. And it's cool that Hondo from the Clone Wars is gonna get a proper send off.
Fair enough. Then let's both go Hondo %.
He's gonna be like, nothing I want to do with that boy except for this. And run. Second odd, the odds of Ahsoka returning in the Rebels season finale.
If I hadn't watched the episode, I'd be like, what are you talking about? But 100%. Maybe low. I'll go as low as 95. I don't know.
I'm going full Brock.
I get what you're saying.
I think she has to return. But at the same time,
she doesn't have to.
I don't think she has to return. So I'm going to go full Brock. I'm fully confident in my full Brock answer. And the final odd, the odds of Thrawn having some sort of victory against the Rebels in the Rebels series finale.
He is just an amazing villain because it's sort of like we've come back. We know we have very limited episodes, but he's just sort of like, I'm Thrawn. I cannot be stopped. And I'm like, he hasn't like he did the slip up at the end of last season. When did the whole explosion been do? That was last season, right?
That was a weird episode. That was kind of weak.
Like that's like the only point where he kind of fails.
And he fails because one of his crew are idiots.
Exactly, and like reading the book, and we know the book. I don't know how to feel about Thrawn, so I'm confused. I'm gonna go.
I want him to have a victory.
Yeah, sort of me too. I'm gonna be optimistic and go 65.
The problem is, I want him to have a victory, but the show's not going to end on a complete downer.
True.
Now, it could end with a Thrawn victory, and because of that victory, the events of Rogue One are put in motion.
I like that.
So it doesn't connect to Rogue One, but because of this, they're like, oh, we're screwed. We got to go get Jyn Erso. Like, they probably won't say that exactly. You know what I mean? But because of this, we need that. Or because of this, we found out this is happening, and that sets it off. So I'm going to go 61%.
Here's another odd. What's the odd that we'll see a Cassian character in this? Like, it will just be like, oh, at the end is like, Cassian, you know what you have to do or whatever. I don't know. I don't know really how close it is to Rogue One.
Well, I don't know either because I know that Dave Filoni says he doesn't really want it to just end with Rogue One because Rogue One's that thing and Rebels is this thing.
Yeah.
And I completely get and respect that. I would love it if Cassian showed up at some point. It would make sense. It would make sense. Yep. Like and that wouldn't be forced to me. It would be like, yeah, I get it. Yeah. Cassian's a big part of this. We're gonna use this graphic coming up next, by the way.
Cool.
It's a sorry guys. it's our whatever. Ready for Hollow News?
Hollow News. Hollow News.
This is our New Year's Hollow News graphic.
Oh, I see now. I was like, that's the normal picture.
There's confetti. Sorry, I'm sick.
Confetti wop.
And first news story in.
Yo. They scanned Donald Glover's body. Apparently, yes, he's been scanned. Lucasfilm or Disney or, the three-headed beast that is everything. Scanned Donald Glover's body. And we don't know why. So basically, Disney / Lucasfilm owns Donald Glover's likeness forever. Donald Glover dropped this in an interview, and it's sort of like no one really knows why, but we can all just assume it's for future projects, cartoons, or obviously video games and such like that. Think about Rogue One. We got Grand Moff Tarkin. Even though Peter Cushing has passed away, he was in that movie. So they're just thinking about the future. I'm sure now that'll be pretty par for the course with stuff like this, where you want to continue to make stories. And obviously, actors aren't going to want to be in everything. So there we go. Worst Star Wars toys. Mark Hamill is back at it again on his Twitter. He never seems to go away from his Twitter. But he's done this before where he's talked about the worst Star Wars toys he's ever seen. Or maybe I've seen, because there's one item that I'm like, I thought we talked about this, but maybe it was, I read it in some
We've probably done
article.
this story before.
Well, he's definitely done, there's new stuff in it. So anyways, he on last week, I think, he went on Twitter and told us the top 4. He made a list of terrible toys he had. The number 1 being Luke Skywalker off camera in ugly blue sweater featured in no movie ever. Which, if you're watching on YouTube, that's the picture on the left. Then there's the cuddly Sarlacc devours victim pillow, 3PO tape dispenser where the tape roll is in his, if he was human, crotch area, and the R2D2 egg holder. They are strange things. I actually was on, I think it was Box Lunch's website, and they have a crock pot that's just Star Wars on the side. Like, it's a crock pot, but it has Star Wars. It doesn't do anything to make your food look like Star Wars, but they just have it at the store.
They have it at Walmart.
And, we talk about it constantly. Like, you could buy a banana and there's Praetorian Guards on it. This is how marketing works, especially with Star Wars being the massive. Is it bad, though, that I want almost all of these things?
I would say it would be weird if you didn't.
Yeah, like, I would love that action figure. I look at it, I'm like, that can't exist, but apparently it exists.
No, it doesn't. I think that's a fake.
Is that a fake?
Yeah, that somebody made that because he wore that sweater like in an interview 20 years ago and then wore it again.
Yeah, no, I remember that. Yeah, but
so I think it's a fake. People are brilliant.
Yeah, I would love that. So Americans want to go fight in space. This is interesting. A general from the Air Force Association was in Orlando, Florida at the 34th Annual Air Warfare Symposium and Technology Exposition saying, I believe we're going to be fighting from space in a matter of years. And we're the service that must lead joint war fighting in this new contested domain. It's not only our destiny, it's what the nation demands. He references that the future of warfare will be in space and cyber battlefields, which is interesting. And we've had less than a decade to refine our operating concepts. It's time for us as a service, regardless of specialty badge, to embrace space superiority with the same passion and sense of ownership as we are able to apply today to air superiority, because he's from the Air Force. They apparently have spent $8.4 billion on space programs, and $5.8 billion would go to research and development. That's interesting. I don't know how to feel, especially with the issue of gun ownership in the States. It's sort of like, really? Do we need to make more Star Wars-esques or just be able to do what we can in space? But I will say this, development in anything for the army or warfare tends to benefit us at some point. So it's like, our cell phones are better because of that. I believe HD video was created because of the army, because they need better quality. So it's sort of like, maybe we say yes, but yeah, they want to go to space.
And have wars.
Look out for the new Death Star.
I'd rather have wars in space than war on Earth. But
yeah, it seems bizarre to talk about it, but okay.
All right.
And EA might be out of a job. Apparently, there has been rumors that Lucasfilm may part ways with EA in regards to video game development after, as we all know, would you say Battlefront was a success?
The second one was not. The second one, I believe, bombed.
Right. Because of the issues with the pay-to-play. People weren't happy with the first one because there's no story mode. I argue Battlefront 2, the story mode is great. It's one of the reasons I bought it.
Can I just jump in for a second?
Yeah.
I think Battlefront 1 was more fun as a game. But Battlefront 2 is a better game in terms of the little things. But I miss the survival mode. Yeah. Offline is what I miss the most in it. Battlefront 2, it's more technical, and I'm not really like a hardcore gamer, so that's harder for me.
And it's, you know what, I think you could say they were successful, but the press on this is what's killing it. And then also EA seems to be reluctant to put any work into a new Star Wars movie. So that being said, there's a good chance that they might part ways. Rumors are saying that maybe Activision or Ubisoft may take over. So.
That's what I don't get. We should have like 10 Star Wars games right now.
True.
I don't see why we don't.
I mean, they cut their project with the Visceral games, so it's sort of like,
and I know the canon crap, but it's crap. Just make a story. Who cares? It doesn't have to tie into anything. Just make it.
All you do is make a new character for the game, and they die at the end. It's like, oh, that's why we can't see this person in the movie.
We'd all be fine with that too.
Yep. I mean, technically, that's what happens with Iden.
Spoilers.
Yeah, sorry. Well, if you don't know, now you know. But again, like Iden Versio is a very interesting character.
Yep.
Portrayed by an actress that is still like acting, so you could put her in a movie. But again, it's a different time period, and I don't know. It's nice to just have it in its own self. But anyways.
Whatever.
So sorry, EA. Hopefully you figure it out. And everybody knows this, but we're going to talk about it anyways. Star Wars, the Blu-ray, will be released next month, March 27th. But if you cannot wait, which most of you can't, March 13th, digital download.
That's what I'm getting it.
It's interesting how that works. It's like, why not just do it at the same time? But I get it. Some people want the physical, some don't. Because like I don't really buy.
They want you to buy the digital, and then in 2 weeks,
buy it again.
Damn it! I need the.
I will say I was looking at like some like special pack. I don't think it's not the normal one. I think it comes with a book and stuff. It's like a steel book, a steel case one as well. Like, oh, I kind of want that, but I'll probably just get digital, especially if all the extra things that are coming with it, specifically 14 deleted scenes.
I've already pre-ordered it.
They will probably be all the things that happen in the book that we don't see. Maybe?
No, it won't be. They like those scenes in the book are specifically for the book.
Right. Anyways,
J.J. Abrams won't read.
Anyways, so there will be 14 deleted scenes and an in-depth documentary with director Rian Johnson discussing the film's productions, as well as some discussion of how the production studio Lucasfilm team created a few epic scenes. So, your usual stuff, but obviously we are all desperate for these 14 deleted scenes just to see what happens.
You know they're going to be terrible.
Oh, probably.
Deleted scenes.
They're deleted scenes.
There's a reason why people always get excited for deleted. I love deleted scenes. I'm a sucker too. But there's a reason they get deleted. There's a reason why they're not in the movie. Because they don't work. That's what it is.
Yeah.
You watch it like that. Every once in a while, there's a deleted scene. Like I always use this movie Made with Vince Vaughn and Jon Favreau. There's a deleted scene that's 3 seconds long of Vince Vaughn having keys. Because 2 scenes earlier, there's a scene with him and Puff Daddy arguing about taking keys. And it's hilarious. I don't know why I was cut. And it's Amazing Spider-Man 2. The Green Goblin. You learn more about how he knows about that suit. And that makes so much more sense. Those are 2 scenes that I'm always like, why were those cut? But for the most part, you're like, oh, cool. Garbage.
Extra stuff. Boom.
Do you have a book?
I do. Comics, books, and comics. Fun fact, I was able to get a copy of Tales from Mos Eisley Cantina.
Nice.
So I will read that at some point and compare it to From a Certain Point of View, because it's basically the same thing. Anyways, one big thing that came out last week was Dr. Aphra with a little cameo. No, not little. Huge cameo by Hera Syndulla.
Oh.
So we are... It's fun because, you know, Dr. Aphra's now working for 000 because he's forcing her to. So she's in this, like, fun gang of smugglers and thieves and what have you. And they're on little escapades. This one, they have to get in. They're trying to break into this massive space station thing that the Empire has that has all the information. And Aphra's idea is to get the rebels involved somehow. So, like, they can do all the work. Because Dr. Aphra, she's sneaky. She figures things out so she doesn't have to do things. It's kind of like DJ. It's interesting. Maybe there's a comparison. I don't know. So her plan is to go to a rebel training thing, which is actually an old Trade Federation base, the very same that we see in Phantom Menace that Anakin blows up. And they're using it as a training place for their new pilot. And Hera is in charge of it. She's training all these new pilots for the rebellion. So they kidnap Hera, and the book ends, spoilers, that she's like, hey Tarkin, I have something you want.
Oh, cool.
So they're using her as a thing, which is interesting because it's also happening in Poe Dameron. Lars Tekka has been broken out of Neimoidia, their like fun bank there, but it's oh god, Agent Terex, who's now free of his. I'm the best at this, aren't I? His mind control, and now is using him as leverage. He has used his leverage. He's got the thing taken out, and he's delivering Lars Tekka to Dr. Phasma. I did this before. Yeah, Captain Phasma. So that's fun. It's interesting that at the exact same time they're using specific characters to trade. But yeah, excellent books. Thrawn also came out, but it's basically just a retelling of the novel. So if you haven't read the novel, read that. It's kind of good. But
the art looks cool.
Yeah. It's fun because it's like, hey, this is how I thought of it in my head.
All right, let's wrap this one up.
Top 5.
We're going to do top 5 out of respect to EA.
Mad respect.
Yeah, we're just going to do our top 5 Star Wars video games. We did it a little while ago, but we'll do it again because I felt like changing it up. You ready?
Yeah.
Top 5 Star Wars video games.
Ooh.
Number 5, Tiny Death Star.
Oh, yeah, Tiny Death Star. You love that game.
I was obsessed. I have a t-shirt.
Yeah.
I was obsessed with that game. It should probably be number 1 on the list. But Aaron got so mad at me playing that game that she made me give it up for Lent. Not this year. I'm not even joking. So for 40 days and 40 nights, I didn't play it, and I was shaking after the first week. It was like a caffeine fix. I was like, I need my Tiny Death Star. And then she bought me the t-shirt for my birthday that year. It was very mixed signals. Your number 5?
Mine is an OG throwback. Warriors of Terras Kasai, which came out, is that it? Masters of Terras Kasai, which was a fighting game with Star Wars characters for PlayStation 1. And was crazy. I didn't play it a ton. I wish I had a copy of it, but it was just, wow. They'll just make anything. Which they won't do now, which is funny. So yeah.
Number 4, Tiny Death Star. No, it's just Tiny Death Star. All you did was build levels of the Death Star.
What was the original game? Tiny City?
Tiny
Tower? Tiny Tower.
It was Tiny Death. You built levels.
Yeah.
But you had to save up money to build the levels, and then like people,
it was a really like good idea for.
I still have it. Mm-hmm. That's the best part. Knights of the Old Republic. I don't know if you've heard of it. Knights of the Old Republic is my number 4. I know that people are like, whoa, that's number 1. Yeah. Look, it's your number 1. It's not my number 1 because my number 1 is Tiny Death Star. If Tiny Death Star's on your list, Knights of the Old Republic can't be number 1. That's actually a rule that they have. What's your number 4?
My number 4 is right here. Bam. Star Wars Rogue Squadron came out for Nintendo 64. It was probably the first Star Wars game where you could fly that I was like, yes, this is what I've been waiting for.
I took a page out of your book. My number 3, Super Star Wars. I love Super Star Wars.
How far could you get into the game? Did you
right
beat it?
now? Because I got on
Not right
PlayStation.
now, but like when you
No,
first had
I'm worse now. I don't know.
because it was a hard
It's
game.
impossible. When I got my PlayStation, I got the Battlefront one.
Yeah.
And it came with 4 games. And one of the games
Oh,
was,
yes.
yeah, it was Super Star Wars. And I was really excited. And I can't do it.
It's hard.
It's so hard.
It's not that nothing's changed about
But
that.
Super Empire Strikes Back, Super Return of the Jedi, all 3 of them were great games.
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder why video games can't be as good as the movies. Like they can't do it. Anyway, you're number 3.
My number 3 will be Battlefront. Just in general, because the other 2 just beat it out. But not the new ones. Just every Battlefront. Like, they were fantastic games, regardless of what you think. The new ones are a different breed, but they're the same idea. I loved it. The first one that came out for, I think it was just Xbox at once. Maybe PS2. Fantastic. I loved it.
My number 2, this is where I took a page out of your book.
Pod Racer.
And Pod Racer Revenge. Also on my PlayStation is Pod Racer Revenge. And I like to play as Ben Quadaneros.
Of course.
And I win every single game because I play on easy. And I like that the commentators in there goes, young Anakin Skywalker going around the track. And I'm like, this is exciting. I don't even care. I love Pod Racer. And playing it, it wasn't at Dave & Buster's when we went for Rob's birthday, but it's at another Dave & Buster's where you're actually in your pod.
Rob's birthday.
Yeah, for Rob's birthday. And you're in the pod and you're like, and it is, that's the sound that it makes. I just want everybody to know that. If Lucasfilm, if you're hiring sound designers, I'm right here.
Yeah.
And that's my number 2. Your number 2.
My number 2 is The Force Unleashed, which was a really fun game. You could do a lot of crazy stuff with lightsabers and what have you, and force powers. You get to see that. Or no, you actually play at a level where you pull a Star Destroyer out of the sky. And it was also one of the first times where I played a game for Star Wars. I was like, oh, this is actually kind of important. Like, Knights of the Old Republic are a fantastic game. But you're like, well, this happens way before. But this happens too, and like, oh, that's where the Rebel Alliance logo comes from. And like, oh, wow, that's really cool. I like that idea. So, great game, both ones.
I am so bad at it. So bad. It was the only game I bought on PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
The only one I had. My number 1, Battlefront, the series. But you know what? It would be a lie if it was anything else because you know how much I played Battlefront. That's just how it is. It's Battlefront. It's personal preference. So
My favorite, of course, is Knights of the Old Republic.
Blasphemy!
I've only played the first 2. I didn't really play the PC one. I know they really went further into that. But like, that was such a fun game. And it's like, it was a first example of like, you could probably, well, maybe not the first, but like in my experience, the first moment where you're like, this is Star Wars without having it to be about anything you've already known. You're just like, it exists in this world years and years before. But like, yeah, this is fun. I like it. As long as there's lightsabers, you're like, yeah, okay, Star Wars. That's sort of, I guess, is the binding thing. But yeah, great story. Fantastic.
And there'll be movies made by the Game of Thrones creators coming soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. 83 episodes
Wow.
in the bag. That is what, 3 years?
3 years
3
in
years.
dog years.
3 years in that. We have 85 days to Solo. A lot more days to Episode 9. Episode 9 starts shooting at the end of July. The script is complete. We didn't talk about that. So now Last Jedi Novelization comes out Tuesday. Hopefully I'll have that read, not next week's episode, but the week after I should have it read for. And then we'll also talk about, we'll do probably a review of maybe the digital copy of Last Jedi if you get it. We're going to do a full review on that. And that's everything I've got to say.
Hello, this is Brock from the Rebel Scum Podcast. Thank you for listening, and keep on keeping on.
All right, guys, that's it for this episode of the Rebel Scum Podcast. Thank you so much for watching, paying attention, listening to these two guys talk about Star Wars. Please give us a like, a subscribe, and Brock, you were always scum.
Rebel Scum.
Hey scumbags, thanks for watching. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up on our video. As always, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Rebel Scum Podcast, for all the latest videos.